India's one-horned rhinoceros is one of the most coveted animals on this planet. Or you could also say the most persecuted. This magnificent creature has survived for 40 million years, weathering geographic and climatic upheavals. Legend and folklore have bestowed many magical powers to this armor-plated prehistoric animal. But its very existence is under threat. All because of a 20-inch keratin growth on its snout called the horn. Despite being banned globally, it continues to be traded in many Asian countries like Vietnam and China. Costlier than cocaine, the rhino horn commands astronomical price in the black market. Poachers are willing to go to any lengths to lay their hands on it. My very first filming trip to Kaziranga brought me face to face with the menace posed by ruthless poachers. Witnessing firsthand what devastation they can cause to wildlife was an experience that left me completely shaken. As a wildlife filmmaker, I've been on some crazy adventures around the world. I've been charged by rhinos, surrounded by a herd of elephants, walked the mangroves with man-eating tigers. It can sometimes get hair-raising and dangerous, but never boring.
I can feel them crawling all over me.
But our encounter with the poachers was something else altogether. If there's one place in India that can be compared to the Serengeti, it's the Kaziranga Tiger Reserve in the northeastern state of Assam. Vast open stretches of lush grassland and an abundance of wildlife. There's only one place you can capture the big five of the Indian wildlife in a single frame. Here in Kaziranga National Park, home to tiger, elephant, rhinoceros, the wild buffaloes, and the eastern song deer. The park has the highest density of tigers anywhere in the world. Yet, tiger is not the headline here. It is the greater one-horned rhinoceros who bosses these grasslands. Over 70% of the world's one-horned rhinos live here. And where there are rhinos, there are poachers. The rhino horn is one of the most prized items on the smugglers' list. More expensive than cocaine. We have barely been in the park for a few hours when I get to hear the news of an incident in the eastern part of the park. The beat guards have heard gunshots and they suspect the worst. We follow a team of forest officials as they rush to the area. Everyone is tense and hoping it is not too late already.
गनशॉट सुनाया उनका हलावा पूरा कैंप का वो जो नदी किनारे में उन लोगों को बोल दीजिए अलर्ट होने के लिए और पूरा वो बोट्स ढूंढने के लिए बोल दीजिए और फुटप्रिंट्स भी ढूंढने के लिए बोल दीजिए.
We have to cross a small stream before we arrive at the range where the incident has occurred. The beat guards are waiting nervously when we arrive at the other end of the shore. It's now time to find out if our worst fears have come true. Trudging through dry grass, we slowly and cautiously make our way. The strong odor wafting through the air leads us to the spot. We are too late. Poachers have already killed the rhino and made off with their loot. It is the most disturbing sight. We are all totally devastated. Felling down this wonderful creature for a few inches of horn. And all for some misplaced superstition that it has magical powers. Science has not found any evidence that the rhino horn or any of its body parts have a medicinal value. Yet the demand for its body parts has not abated, and poachers continue to thrive in this lucrative market. There was a time when rampant killing had brought the Indian rhino to the brink of extinction. It took decades of hard work and determination to stabilize their population. But the park authorities are conscious that things can change quickly. Having lost a precious rhino, they are determined to catch the culprits. Rangers get information that the poachers are still in the area and are planning another raid. As they prepare to act, I request permission to film the possible encounter. We race off to see the action unfold. Kaziranga is one of the few national parks in India where the rangers and guards are allowed to carry weapons. In most of the parks I've been to in India, cars usually patrol with just a wooden stick. This in itself is an indication as to how dangerous it is to work in this park. When I arrive at the location, groups of trained anti-poaching teams of the Forest Department were about to take their position. Given the size of this park, which is huge, the rangers decide to station the teams at 3 possible locations. It is an extremely tense and dangerous operation. The poachers are usually armed with sophisticated weapons. There was a time when they would use traditional methods like pit poaching, but over the last decade or so, they have switched over to guns. And sophisticated guns like the AK series of rifles. The next couple of hours are really tense as we all wait. I, along with my camera team, are told to stay at a safe distance. Only when we hear the sound of gunfire do we realize that the poachers have landed. To be honest, I was quite stunned by the quick developing situation. I could hear shots being fired from both ends, and then all of a sudden there was silence. The guards wait just to make sure this isn't a trap. But then one of the poachers comes out of the hiding to surrender. And it's all over. Obviously, we are not allowed to film or show the poachers' faces due to the legal issues, but this was a hair-raising experience. I'm glad that at least some of the culprits have been apprehended. However, what came next was something else altogether. The anti-poaching team want to make sure there are no more culprits hiding in the area. The park has a porous border. On the one side is the river Brahmaputra. And on the other, Kukurkata Hills. Not to mention a busy highway just across the park. So there are not only multiple access points, but also many hideouts which the poachers can use.
We are in the Bura Pahar range of the Kaziranga National Park. This is one of the most popular routes used by the poachers to gain entry into the park. These beautiful hills provide a perfect hideout for these poachers. There are hundreds of caves there. And once they've crossed over into these hills, there's nothing that the park authorities can do.
This time, the rangers are determined to flush them out and decide to comb the caves. For me, this is a different challenge altogether. Of course, I want to film the entire operation, but I have never done any climbing. And let's say I'm no longer in the prime of my youth and not very fit. But no way was I going to let this opportunity pass. Honestly, being a female wildlife filmmaker is not a walk in the park, pun intended. There aren't too many around, especially in these parts, and I have on many occasions struggled to get the respect I deserve. And I knew I needed to prove I could handle these tough situations more to myself than to anyone else. So the next morning, I was at the top of the queue heading towards the dreaded bat caves in the Kukurkata Hills. I am warned that the climb ahead is pretty steep, and recent rains have made it even more treacherous. And then there is the danger of meeting any poachers that might be hiding out in the caves. It's a scary thought, but we do want to film this operation and the bat cave. No camera team has been allowed till now to film in this part of the park, so it will be quite a feather in our caps. It's a hot and muggy morning as we start the climb. It's really hot and stuffy. The pathway is slippery and tortuous. We cautiously make our way up, often pausing to test a particular rock or water stream for stability before moving ahead. I cannot help but reflect on the irony of fate that has made the Indian rhino to live in the very region where its horn is considered more valuable than gold. In many Asian cultures, the horn is believed to have magical curative powers and even used as an aphrodisiac. They believe that it has the power to keep them young and potent forever. The Indian rhino is considered to have much better medicinal value than the rhinos of Africa and other parts of Asia. Despite scientific proof that the horn has no special medicinal or other powers, perception do not change.
We are barely halfway up the climb when we come to a point where there is no clear way ahead. We will have to crawl through a very narrow opening in the rocks. I don't think I can do it. We have to take a call whether we are going ahead or not. सर हम इधर आ सकते हैं कि नहीं?
नहीं पूरा फिसलना है सर मैडम, पूरा फिसलना है, चट्टान है, पूरी चट्टान फिसलना है पूरा.
And I am also moved to wonder what makes the forest guards take this risk. And mind you, they have to do this on a regular basis. I can understand why the poachers take the risk. They can look forward to a big cash reward if they manage to make off with the rhino horn. Yet the forest guards, many of them casual workers earning a meager salary, risk their lives for nothing more than a sense of duty and pride in protecting the rhino. Hats off to them. I decide to push on and somehow, with great difficulty, manage to squeeze through the narrow opening. The rest of the pathway is equally challenging. One wrong step and you can easily slip into an abyss. There is nothing you can hold on to in case you lose balance. To make matters worse, the floor and the rocks are covered with leeches. Oops! While I'm contemplating our next move, the guards urge me to move on. They have a mission to complete. The going is slow, but finally, after nearly 3 hours, we reach the cave. We are asked to stay back as the guards get in position. We anxiously wait at a distance, hoping the area is clear. The armed guards make their way in to check for poachers. Thankfully, we are able to breathe a sigh of relief as they give the signal for all clear. We are allowed to move forwards and I climb up to get a glimpse of the bat cave. We walked 4 kilometers through treacherous and slippery rocks. And here we are at the dreaded bat cave. Dreaded because the poachers use it as a hideout. Once they've killed the rhino and taken the horn, they use caves like this to hide. As we make our way back, battered and bruised, I'm glad we did not run into any poachers today. But this climb has been an eye-opener for me. Never could I have imagined the risk and the struggle the rangers face on a daily basis to keep the Indian rhinoceros safe. It's literally an uphill battle. For me, it's once in a lifetime experience. For them, it's daily duty. Without frontline rangers like them, the future of the one-horned Indian rhinoceros would not be safe.